To begin, go to the design that you created during the planning phase, then go File, Save a copy, give it a sensible name, and save it in your project folder. Throughout this process, you'll want to have your documentation open so that if you do make changes to your planning, you can note them on the planning changes slide. The other document that we need is our text document, which is going to allow us to copy and paste the content into our slideshow. To begin, we can start with our first slide by copying the instruction. And we want to go to our first slide and go Control D so that we duplicate that slide. You might notice that in my case, I've got bottom aligned text when I'd prefer it to be top aligned. To change this, I can go up into the paragraph area and choose Align Text and put it on the top. Of course, we can also resize this as necessary. One big hint is that when you're pasting content, if you don't want to change the formatting, you should use Keep Text Only when you paste. The next thing I need is to have that image that we decided in our plan. And it turns out in PowerPoint, we can take a file and simply drag it and drop it in. I am going to remove the subtitle. And of course, this image is much smaller than it needs to be. Remember that when you do resize images, you want to hold down Shift and drag from the corner to make sure that you resize in proportion and don't distort the image. For our next slide, we can copy the title, and we need our title to be top aligned. A quick way to do this is to go to the first slide, which has a correctly aligned text box, and then up at the top left-hand side, we can double-click on the Format Painter, then go into the box and click on it with the Format Painter, and it will align it correctly, and you can push Escape to turn your Format Painter off. You can also then paste as text and move the title where you need it to be. When I pasted in the subtitle, I noticed that as I made the box bigger, the text automatically resized, which isn't what I want. So what I can do is I can right-click on it, and I'm wanting to choose the Size and Position option, which will open up a side panel, and then I'm going to go for Text Options, and with the text box selected, I can change it to Do Not Autofit, and that then means that I've got complete control over the size, and that is a little bit bigger than what I wanted, so I can, of course, make it smaller. And this is almost there, except it's really hard to read the text on the left-hand side. To fix this, in my shape options, I can choose a solid fill, and then of course I want to change the color, and that's much better. And if I want, I can make it slightly transparent, but there is a little bit of a trade-off between readability and being able to see the background. One thing I did notice is that the text is quite close to the box, and I do want to increase my padding. So in my shape options area, I can scroll down and find where the margins are controlled. And in this case, I'm just going to add and make sure that my margins are 0.25 each time. And resizing the box does make a big difference. As this video is getting a little bit long, we're going to continue this process in the next video.